Hey folks, Deano here again. This time, take a look at another Dragon Ball Figuarts review. This is the other figure that came with Full Power Frieza in the same shipment, even though in Japan and the US he released like a month earlier. So yeah, yet again, Tamashii proving they can't do global shipping for some reason. But yeah, this is a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Unwavering Saiyan Pride. Yeah, we are back to the massive long names and subtitles, apparently. But yeah, this is their new budget Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. And while the body might still be the 2.0, which infuriates me to no end, especially considering like they had the Daima mold ready to go, and yet still released this guy and the Namek Vegetas. One of the Namek Vegetas isn't even out yet, and they're still using that old mold with him. Yeah, that I don't really understand what's going on with Tamashii these days. But yeah, the body might be the same, but that head, I'll say it right now, that is a really, really nice looking head. Let down a little bit by the sort of paint apps and the tampo in the eyes, especially the yelling face. That one looks a bit off. But yeah, the sculpt itself, I mean, it's a bit of a meme at this point, but if you look at the We Saiyans Have No Limits, Super Saiyan Blue, Goku and Vegeta, the AGL one from Dokkan Battle, the head sculpt is almost one for one. Like, it's almost identical, even down to the shape of the strands in the hair. So yeah, at least one point in the anime, he looked exactly like this. But yeah, glad we have another budget release. And this one replaces the Broly movie Vegeta. Bit disappointing it doesn't come with any more heads, but then he has a budget release, as I said before. So yeah, let's get him off the turntable and take a quick look at the box. So yeah, in terms of boxes, it's your standard Figuarts affair. We have nice blue for the background, and a nice image of Vegeta there, showing a smirk, which to my knowledge isn't actually with the figure. That one looks more like he's just smirking. The one that we get in the box, his mouth is open, which I don't know why Tamashii keeps doing that. I would rather just have a smirk. But yeah, that's what you get, unfortunately. We have the really long spiel. I don't even know if I'll be able to fit that in the title of the video. Yeah, designed in Japan, made in China. So yeah, it's a bad day when the budget releases are getting put to China and the big releases are getting handled by the Vietnam factory, which is notorious for quality control. But yeah, we have a couple of nice images on the side, and on the back, just some promo shots of everything he comes with. So yeah, pretty much bog standard for boxes. Let's get the box out of the way and take a look at the accessories. So, in standard Dean fashion, I completely forgot to tell you that there should be a link in the description to buy this guy off of AliExpress. I do recommend him, after all, but yeah, I always forget to say that at the start of the video, so yeah, it is there. In terms of accessories, he doesn't come with a whole lot, pretty much your standard Vegeta sort of accessories. It comes with a stern face out of the box. Not sure why we are suddenly oversaturated. There we go. But yeah, really nice face. This is probably my favourite face out of the bunch. Only thing that really lets this down is how thick that frown is on the mouth. I kind of wish that was a bit less or a bit more skin tone. But yeah, still really nice. I have to say though, I really love this head sculpt. Not sure why the very tip of his hair is a sort of different colour. Have they forgot to paint that on mine? I think they might have, actually, because the back is fine. The front is, yeah, I think the front is missing some of the metallic hair. Oh, Tamashii, never change. And by that, I mean, please change. But yeah, he comes with alternate heads, faces, one of which is a smirking face. And yeah, as you can see, like no matter what angle I put this at, you can't really get him looking the same way as he does on the box, which is a bit strange. It's almost as if they get rid of the actual smirk halfway through development. I'm not sure why. But yeah, as usual, open mouth smirking face. Really nice. The blue on his hair is lighter than what the camera is actually picking up. I'm not sure why it's doing that. You have teeth gritted face, which is really nice on this one. Although I think that line is going past where it should on the teeth. Which, yeah, it is. And finally, the face that I really don't like is this one, which is sort of elongated for no particular reason. Also, why are his eyebrows like that? Like, if you're going to widen his eyes, widen them, Tamashii. Like, the inside of his eyes look normal, and then they sort of widen for no particular reason. Yeah, that doesn't look right at all to me. It really doesn't. So, yeah, not sure what's going on there at all. The paint apps are clean. They don't look right. It comes with the standard 2.0 crossed arms, which are nice enough. This is about the million one of these that I've got. Oh, I've noticed it's now hollow. This used to be solid plastic. Are we really getting that desperate to cut costs, Tamashii, that we're hollowing out like accessories that used to be solid? I mean, that probably saved you a penny at most. I'm not entirely sure why we're doing that. But yeah, in terms of alternate hands, he comes with a pair of fists on him. We get a pair of splayed open key blast hands, pair of Vegeta style martial arts posy hands, pair of gripping Final Flash style hands, which you see there, you can still see the flashing on them, which is a bit disappointing. And finally, he comes with his standard thumbs up. The minute I do this in battle, I am going to get knocked out. Seriously, every time he does this, he immediately loses the fight. But yeah, that's it for accessories. Not a whole lot, but then it is a budget release, so can't really grumble. But yeah, let's get the figure into the middle of the screen now and take a look at him. So yeah, in terms of Vegeta himself, I'm not entirely sure why my white balance is going crazy. The hair is now round about the same colour as it should be on the camera, but for some reason the armour is a royal blue when it isn't. It's more of like a turquoisey blue almost. It's like a deeper shade of like the same colour as the hair. And the brown bits are closer to olive coloured in person. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure why that's happening. Apologies. But yeah, the main thing to notice right off the bat is his groin section, including the joint, is a different colour to the rest of the suit. I am not sure why. Bit strange, it's a darker colour than the rest. Considering the fact that his elbow joints are not, I am not entirely sure what's going on there. But yeah, something to keep in mind, I suppose. But yeah, it's your standard 2.0 body. I think that there may actually be a little bit of shading, but if anything, it's barely noticeable in person, and it's definitely not noticeable in camera. So yeah, not entirely sure. That may just be the light, the harsh lighting, showing that through. But yeah, the paint apps on the brown are a bit sloppy, to say the least. That bit on the side has been missed. The back seems okay, but the front part of his shoulder armour has been missed as well. You can see it right at the start there. It's been missed on both sides. And for some reason, his armour goes into his pecs, even though they really shouldn't. It should just be flat. But yeah, the feet are fine. Even though like this is the horrendous 2.0 Vegeta feet, even standing straight up, this guy is not stable at all. Never mind that. That was just some boxes next to me falling down. But yeah, he's not the most stable figure on the planet. But yeah, again, it's a budget release. It's half the price of their normal releases and a quarter the price of Kong's. So pick your poison. My Beast Deities version of this guy is on its way. It's been stuck at the Chinese airport for about 5 days now, awaiting transit. I get it's December, but can we get a move on, please, China? Thank you. Please and thank you. But yeah, overall, decent release. I can't say much bad about it, but then I can't really say much good either. In terms of articulation, he looks up about that much. He looks down about that much. We have swivel. We have a bit of pivot, even though it is an old school ball hinge for Vegeta. That really hurt. That's really sharp at the tips. It's also a new style, sort of separate piece in there, which will probably mean it holds up a lot longer if you're popping it on and off. There we go. Nice. Neck barely moves, if anything. Like, I can't even feel it moving, to be completely honest with you. So, yeah. Arms can go out that much. It's old school technology, so can't really get any further than that. We do get a swivel. It's still these god awful, like, bulbous shoulders that they've been giving Vegeta for years now. Roll on Daima Vegeta when we finally get standard shoulders. Yeah, butterfly joint gets a little bit extra range if you use it properly, but if you pull it out all the way, it doesn't even help any. But yeah, you can get with that if you are careful with it. Bicep swivel, double joint at the elbow, ball hinge at the wrist. The abs do seem to have been modified because they pop out a lot now, like that much, which means fairly decent ab crunch. He can go back a little if you push it down, and of course that pops all the way down. Swivel at the waist. You get a little bit of pivot in the chest articulation, but this ball joint is pretty much just a swivel. The legs are standard Vegeta legs, although they have fixed a quality control issue that plagued this mould since the dawn of time. So that's about as far up as you can kick. You can use the joint to simulate kicking up further. The thigh rotation is tight, but it works. The legs can go out that far. So yeah, that is the main point of contention with this mould. He can't do the splits to save himself, although the QC issue, as I said before, has been solved. This leg used to like popping in. Now it's completely fine. There is no issues with that whatsoever. Double joint at the knee. Feet are on that god-awful angled barbell joint. So while it can get down, it looks horrendous when you do it. And when you put it in position, it looks too short. Can get a bit of ankle pivot out of there, and the tiniest little bit of toe articulation. So yeah, not great. But again, this is a budget release. It's good for those who either do not have a Vegeta yet, do not have a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta yet, or are just getting into the line. All of which is very good. We always appreciate new collectors. It keeps the line going. I hate people that gatekeep figures. If I had my way, every figure would be readily available and unscalpable, but that's just me. But yeah, I think I was going to do a 2-part review for this guy, but since we flew through it, it being a standard release and all, let me just jump cut and bring in all the other Vegetas that I've got, just to compare, and we will try a quick head swap onto the Beast Deities one. So bear with me. So yeah, this is him up against pretty much every armoured Vegeta that I have collected thus far. The only one I don't have out here is the God Vegeta. That is purely because I forgot to bring him. But yeah, the God Vegeta from Demoniacal Fit is or not the God Vegeta. Why am I calling him that? No, it's because I have a God head on him. But yeah, basically the clone of Super Vegeta that Demoniacal Fit did. I didn't see much point in showing that because I've customized it so much. But yeah, I still prefer the colour scheme on this one the most. I really like it. Although, strangely enough, it's almost as if Tamashii have copied Beast Deities in how the colours work with Super Saiyan Blue. They didn't do it with the Broly movie Vegeta, which, if I quickly show, because these are the most direct comparison that I can make, that is the old head, that is the new one. Part of me still prefers the design of this one, but there is not a whole lot of detail in the hair and such. The blues are almost identical. Slight difference in like how bright they are, but it's the same sort of sheen. But yeah, if I show this, that is what I was talking about earlier. You try and bring it out, and it will stick at one point, but then it will pop straight back in. So yeah, as much as I like the Broly movie redesign of his armor, I absolutely hate that QC issue on him. And yeah, we just do a quick comparison with the Demoniacal Fit. Demoniacal Fit, for whatever reason, uses their own leg mold, which is slightly slimmer and has a different cut to it than Tamashi's. Not sure why, considering the fact that they don't change the shoulders, or haven't thus far. But yeah, I am, as much as I like this mold, I am looking forward to switching this here out with the Beast Deities Blue Evolution. So yeah, I've also noticed they have changed the toes, compared to all of these anyway. The Majin Vegeta toes may be the same as this, with the more pointed look, but obviously these two have the more rounded toes. But yeah, without further ado, because I was kind of putting it off, we will pop this off and pop this head off of there. So yeah, the ball joints are very similar. Will it pop on? Nope. Yeah, still the same size of ball peg, slightly different. Although, if you didn't get the Xeno Vegeta with the blue head, and you wanted to use that on him, that does fit rather nicely. Like, that's actually really nice. It works really well, even though it doesn't pop on properly. Yeah, I will show that off again once the Beast Deities version comes. Will that actually pop on? No. Again, the ball peg is slightly different, so it won't work. Oops. The Beast Deities heads are just falling apart on me. Come on, get together. Get it together. There we go. Yeah, so if you got a conversion peg or something like that, that would work rather nicely for a 3.0 Vegeta head. So yeah, do quite like that. But as for me, I'll be keeping them on the heads and bodies that they're supposed to be on. So yeah, when the B005 finally gets out of airport purgatory that it's currently in for me, I will be reviewing it. Same for Trunks. Quick rant incoming. But basically, I had 6A for Tonsonat Trunks pre-ordered from Figure Model Store, which I do still recommend as a store in general, but for some reason they really struggle getting Tonsonat stuff in. So yeah, they said it was going to be like mid to end of December before they got theirs in. So I cancelled my pre-order with them and went with El Surprise Toy Store. Again, really good store. So I'm beginning to think it's maybe Tonson that's at fault with all of these. But yeah, long story short, they said they weren't going to get theirs in until the end of December either, even though their listing said it was in stock. They got a batch in, they said it was in stock, and then didn't take that down. So that was a bit frustrating. So finally I have went with like a smaller store, Perfect Anime Store, I think it's called, something like that. And they shipped it the same day, complete with a picture proof that it's been wrapped up and stuff. So yeah. I have never seen that happen before. That is probably the quickest anyone's ever sent anything from AliExpress. So fingers crossed that gets here next week. Next week in terms of this recording, I'll be honest, this isn't really a priority review at this point. It's been out for a few months. So yeah, if Tonson Trunks comes before this review, that's why they seem out of whack. But yeah, guys, as I said before, link in the description to purchase this guy. Do recommend it purely for that new head sculpt. To be honest, some of the faces aren't perfect, but the sculpt itself is amazing. If you didn't manage to get a hold of the Beast Deities Super Saiyan Blue version, then highly recommend it, especially for how cheap it is. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and until next time, I'll see y'all later.